The Buddha sat peacefully under the Bodhi tree, surrounded by disciples eager to absorb his wisdom and guidance. Among them was a young athlete named Purna, his heart heavy with doubt and confusion about his practice. "Master," Purna began, his voice trembling, "I dedicate myself to sports. Yet my mind is clouded with fears and desires." The Buddha smiled gently, observing the young man with compassion. "Tell me, Purna, what do you seek most in your practice?" "I seek perfection and victory," Purna answered. "But my fear of failure and longing for success consume me." "Master," the Buddha gestured toward a nearby stream, its waters flowing softly around rocks and bends. Untroubled by obstacles, "Do you see the stream, Purna?" the Buddha asked. "It flows freely, adapting to its path without resistance or hesitation." Purna nodded, his eyes fixed on the water, its calm yet purposeful movement capturing his restless heart's attention. "Your mind must become as the stream," the Buddha continued, "present, aware, and unshaken by fear or craving." "But why do we crave, Master? Is craving not natural in beings?" The Buddha adjusted his posture and began again, his tone deliberate and measured. "Craving stems from a thirst, a yearning for permanence, for lasting joy in an impermanent world. So too must we learn to pause, reflect, and gather our inner strength when faced with overwhelming challenges," the Buddha said. The disciples nodded, their hearts stirred by the profound simplicity of the teaching they had just received. "Feel the air entering and leaving your body, grounding you in the present moment." Purna followed the instruction, his breathing steadying, his awareness sinking into the rhythm of the moment. "Now," the Buddha continued, "observe your mind without judgment. Let each thought pass like clouds across the open sky." As Purna practiced, a sense of clarity emerged within him, his racing thoughts losing their grip on his attention. "Master," Purna spoke, "the practice feels calming, but how does it connect to my struggles in sports?" The Buddha opened his eyes, his gaze steady. "Your practice is not separate from your life. It transforms your actions. When you are mindful, every movement becomes intentional, every action aligned with the truth of the present moment. Through mindfulness, you move beyond fear and desire, finding joy in the effort, unburdened by the outcome," the Buddha explained. "It is an attachment to impermanence." The Buddha gestured toward the flowing stream nearby. The Buddha leaned forward slightly, his expression calm yet powerful. "Purna, your training is a path, not a destination. In each step, you have the opportunity to cultivate awareness, compassion, and equanimity, qualities that transcend all victories." Purna listened intently, the profundity of the teaching igniting a deeper curiosity within him. "What should I do now, Master?" "Practice," the Buddha replied simply, "not with the goal of conquering others, but with the intention of understanding yourself. Begin each session with mindful breathing," he instructed. "Ground yourself in the present, not in anticipation or regret. Focus on your movements," the Buddha continued. "Feel their rhythm, their connection to the earth, and their harmony with intention. Freedom is a practice, not a static state. It requires vigilance and compassion. Failure, like success, is impermanent. It does not define you, Purna. When you are mindful, you see each outcome as a lesson, not a verdict. You grow through both success and failure." Purna nodded, his doubts easing, replaced by an emerging trust in the path the Buddha outlined for him. The other disciples observed silently, each finding personal resonance in the exchange between the master and the young athlete. The Buddha rose from his seat, his movements deliberate, as if to illustrate the very principles he taught. He walked toward the stream, his feet touching the earth with quiet reverence, his presence grounding the gathering. "This stream has a source," he said, gesturing toward the flowing water. "Yet it does not rush or hesitate. Purna, It teaches us to embrace our path with balance, to move forward without grasping at what lies ahead, the Buddha explained. Purna followed, his steps tentative yet purposeful, his heart open to the teaching revealed in the stream's flow. You, too, have a source, the Buddha said. Your awareness. Let it guide you, steady and unwavering. Through all endeavors, the sun began to set, its golden light casting a serene glow upon the tranquil gathering beneath the Bodhi tree. The Buddha returned to his seat, addressing the group now. This teaching is not for Purna alone, but for all. Each of you faces challenges that test your resolve, clouding your mind with doubt, fear, or longing. Through mindfulness, you clear these clouds, revealing the boundless sky of your true nature, the Buddha taught. A disciple raised his hand, seeking clarification. Master, how do we sustain this practice amidst life's chaos? The Buddha smiled softly. Return to your breath. No matter the storm, your breath anchors you in the present. In stillness, you find strength. In awareness, you find clarity. In acceptance, you find peace, the Buddha concluded. The assembly bowed in gratitude, their hearts touched by the timeless wisdom the Buddha imparted through the day's teaching. As the gathering dispersed, Purna lingered, his mind brimming with questions and aspirations. His heart steady with gratitude, he approached the Buddha once more, his voice filled with sincerity. Thank you, Master. I will practice as you teach. The Buddha nodded, his expression serene. The path is yours, Purna. Walk it with courage, patience, and mindfulness. Purna returned to his training, integrating the teachings into his every move, transforming his practice into a meditation on life. The disciples exchanged glances, their minds aligning with the wisdom shared. In each impermanent moment lies an opportunity to awaken, the Buddha continued. Another day, the Buddha walked through the village of Rajagaya, his serene presence drawing people seeking wisdom and solace. Among the crowd, a group of young athletes approached, their faces lined with frustration and conflict. Master, their leader began. We are a team, but our differences and egos often lead to discord and failure. The Buddha gazed at them kindly, his eyes reflecting understanding. Tell me, what binds you as a team? The athletes exchanged uncertain glances before one replied. We share a goal of victory, but we struggle to act as one. The Buddha nodded thoughtfully. Unity is not merely shared goals. It arises from understanding, respect, and a deeper connection. He gestured toward a flock of birds flying overhead, their synchronized movements harmonious and purposeful. Observe the birds, the Buddha said. They fly together, each attuned to the others, moving as one living organism. One athlete frowned. But Master, we are individuals. How can we achieve such seamless harmony while retaining our unique strengths? The Buddha smiled, untroubled by the question. Individuality need not conflict with unity. It can enhance it when guided by shared understanding. He turned to the group, his voice steady. Let me share a story, one that may illuminate your path. Long ago, there was a flock of quails who faced a great danger from a skilled hunter with a net. Individually, the quails were weak and easily captured. Together, they realized their strength and devised a plan. When the net was cast, they would unite, lifting it as one, escaping the hunter's trap each time. Through their unity, they survived, for they understood that their fates were bound. Their strength and their collective effort. The athletes listened, the story resonating with their struggles and aspirations for teamwork. But Master, another athlete interjected. What if someone refuses to cooperate or holds back the group? The Buddha's expression remained calm. Compassion and patience are key. Guide each other, lifting those who falter, without judgment or resentment. When one bird falters, the flock adjusts, ensuring all remain in flight. So must your team adapt and support one another. The athletes absorbed his words. The profound simplicity of the teaching challenging their entrenched ways of thinking. Without it, we drift aimlessly. A disciple raised his hand hesitantly. See not just teammates, but fellow beings, each with hopes and fears. Unity begins with understanding and respect. When you recognize the humanity in one another, true collaboration becomes possible. The athletes hesitated, then complied. The exercise revealing hidden emotions, vulnerabilities, and shared aspirations among them. Now, the Buddha continued. Speak honestly, without blame or pride. Share your struggles and how you can support one another. One by one, the athletes spoke, their words bridging gaps, their sincerity fostering a newfound sense of camaraderie. The Buddha listened silently, his presence encouraging them to open their hearts and minds without fear of judgment. As the conversation flowed, the athletes realized their conflict stemmed from misunderstandings and unexpressed concerns, not irreconcilable differences. The Buddha finally spoke, his voice steady. You have begun to understand each other. This is the foundation of true teamwork. A team is like a river, each individual a tributary contributing to the strength and flow of the whole. When your efforts align, you amplify each other's strengths. When you conflict, you disrupt the flow and weaken the team. But Master, the leader asked, how do we ensure this harmony endures through the pressures of competition and adversity? The Buddha nodded, the question reflecting a deep desire to grow and improve. Harmony requires practice, just as skill does. Begin each session with shared mindfulness. Breathe together, grounding yourselves in the present and your shared purpose. Reflect regularly on your goals, not just as individuals but as a collective, ensuring alignment and mutual support. It reveals the transient nature of joy and sorrow alike. The disciples exchanged thoughtful glances, the weight of the teaching settling into their hearts. Above all, the Buddha added, let compassion guide your actions. When you uplift one another, you uplift the whole team. The athletes sat in contemplative silence, the simplicity and depth of the teaching resonating within their hearts. The Buddha rose, his movements deliberate and calm, drawing their attention back to the present. Remember, he said, unity is not the absence of individuality but the presence of understanding and shared purpose. The setting sun cast a warm glow over the gathering, as if nature itself blessed the newfound harmony among them. The athletes bowed deeply, their gratitude and respect for the Buddha evident in their sincere gestures. They departed, their hearts lighter, their resolve stronger, their vision of teamwork transformed by the Buddha's wisdom. Days turned into weeks, and the athletes practiced as the Buddha instructed, integrating mindfulness and mutual support into their training. Their movements became fluid, their interactions seamless, their team functioning as a harmonious and resilient whole. Start with the breath, the Buddha instructed. Feel its rhythm, its flow, its connection to life itself. Another day, the Buddha sat beneath the Bodhi tree, his presence radiating calmness as disciples gathered seeking wisdom and solace. Among them was Virya, a champion wrestler, his face heavy with despair, his posture revealing the weight of defeat. Master, Virya began, his voice trembling, I trained endlessly, yet I was defeated. My worth feels shattered and my spirit broken. But Master, a disciple interjected, what if the mind wanders? The Buddha chuckled softly, a sound like the rustling of leaves in the wind. The wandering mind is natural, he said. It does not define your essence or diminish your worth. But Master, Virya replied, I devoted myself to training, pouring my soul into victory, only to face humiliation and loss. The Buddha gestured toward the lotus blossoms nearby, their beauty undiminished despite the muddy waters that nourished them. Do you see the lotus? The Buddha asked. Its roots thrive in the mud, yet it rises to bloom untouched and radiant. Your trials, Virya, are like the mud, the Buddha continued. It allows us to see others clearly, free of projections and judgments. When we are mindful, he continued, compassion arises naturally, for we recognize the shared nature of suffering and joy. The Buddha then shared a parable. There was once a farmer whose crops were destroyed by a storm. Leaving him distraught, his grief consumed him briefly. But he did not give up. He tilled the soil anew and planted fresh seeds. In time, his field flourished again, and he realized that resilience, not despair, carried him through his trials. Virya listened attentively, the story resonating faintly within him, though his pain still clouded his understanding. When individuals change, the world cannot help but follow. The disciples absorbed the words, their minds alight with the possibilities of such transformation. It is a lesson, a moment to pause, reflect, and uncover strength within yourself. Begin by accepting your pain, the Buddha instructed. Do not resist it, for it is a natural response to your loss. As you accept the pain, breathe deeply. Let each breath remind you that impermanence governs all, including this sorrow. Virya closed his eyes, his breathing steadying, his heart gradually opening to the possibility of healing through acceptance. Now, the Buddha continued, look at your defeat not as an end but as an opportunity to learn, adapt, and grow. Every setback holds a teaching. Reflect on what this defeat reveals about your path, your approach, and your inner self. But Master, Virya asked, his voice uncertain, will this defeat not haunt me, diminishing my future endeavors? The Buddha smiled gently, his tone reassuring. When you accept defeat with grace, you free yourself from its power to haunt you. You rise with renewed determination, your spirit unshaken by the past, guided instead by the lessons it offers. Virya nodded slowly, his doubts easing, replaced by a tentative trust in the wisdom the Buddha imparted. The Buddha gestured toward the clear sky above, its boundless expanse a metaphor for the wrestler's own potential. Defeat is but a passing storm, the Buddha said. It cannot diminish the vast sky of your true nature. Virya raised his gaze, the metaphor resonating deeply, offering solace and perspective to his troubled heart. The Buddha then addressed the entire assembly, his voice carrying wisdom for all present. Each of you faces trials in life. Pain, loss, and failure are inevitable. Yet they are not barriers but stepping stones to greater understanding and growth. When you embrace impermanence, you find strength not in clinging but in flowing with life's changes and challenges. A disciple raised her hand, seeking guidance. Master, how do we avoid despair when defeat feels overwhelming? The Buddha nodded, acknowledging the universal nature of the question. Anchor yourself in mindfulness and compassion. Mindfulness grounds you in the present, freeing you from the grasp of regret or fear. Compassion softens your pain. In stillness, you find clarity. In acceptance, you find peace. In resilience, you find the strength to rise anew. The assembly bowed in gratitude, the teachings echoing within their hearts, offering light amidst their personal struggles. Virya lingered as the others dispersed, his heart steadying, his spirit igniting with a renewed sense of purpose. He approached the Buddha once more, his voice filled with sincerity. Thank you, Master. Your words have brought me clarity. The Buddha nodded, his expression serene. The path is yours, Virya. Walk it with courage, patience, and a steadfast heart. Virya returned to his training, integrating the teachings into his practice, transforming his defeats into stepping stones. In time, his actions reflected resilience, his spirit embracing the lessons hidden within each trial he faced. Their journey continued, each step an act of mindfulness, each breath a reminder of life's impermanence and beauty. Another day, Another quiet evening under a canopy of stars. The Buddha sat surrounded by his disciples in silent contemplation. Through acceptance, resilience, and wisdom, they discovered the beauty of impermanence, the strength within, and the grace to rise again. Thank you for watching. Buddha's teachings are always with you. Subscribe to our channel and we will see you in the next video.